please help me welcoming Chris Akolo from GC's Core. I love the name of it. Amazing, very fun.
Thank you so much, Eddie. My name is Chris Akolo. As Eddie has presented, I'm the Regional Business Development Director at GC's Core. So I've been interacting with a lot of people, and some of you have asked me, why GC? So I'm hoping that at the end of this presentation, you'll be able to understand why the name GC. So for us, just a little bit of history is myself and my background. So I've worked with Metropole. So at that time, they were trying to get a license. And then I worked there for 3.5 years. And then I left and moved to Credit Info. And then I worked there for 7.5. So it feels like a reunion right now. So, so thank you so much for having me. I'll try my best to only take 5 minutes. So these are just public numbers that are available on the public. So when it comes to online fraud. And if you look at it critically, it has grown in around 5-fold. And then the other thing is, we look at how the DCI are trying to give some more information in terms of trying to protect yourself from these scams. Do not disclose personal details such as PIN, bank and account details. Just trying to encourage or trying to inform the market on how to be able to prevent yourself. But my friend here, Kevin, gave some good numbers when they rebranded from dealer. And he gave that up to now, they're talking about 500 billion shillings, right? Kevin, that have been dispersed. And about 8 million people that have been able to benefit. So it is a good number, but it comes with a fair share of their challenges. So I just want to take you through the new age fraud check process. So for us, I know most of the organizations do what is called identity verification. So this is more of ID verification. I know based from now that most of us will not look the same. Probably we look as the pictures that AB has tried to tell us to look true. So our face does not look how we are when we're 18 years old. Of course, we look at bureau data. So for us, I need to make it very clear. We are not competing with the bureau. We are complementing the score. So the other thing is on document verification. So you assign some biodata, some information, then you can be able to verify that kind of information. I'm happy that now most of the apps you can be able to do what is called face recognition. There is what is called email and phone number or risk check. So this is where you can be able to do some form of matching to be able to see that the email that is provided or the phone number that is provided, do some form of algorithm and see if you can be able to identify some form of fraud. For us, we want to introduce something called device intelligence. So this is where we try to use both data and technology. But here, I mean, we're trying to use what is called artificial intelligence or machine learning to be able to come up with some algorithm which can be able to detect some form of fraud based on some output which we'll be able to showcase in the next slide. So this is what I want you to remember. For us, the identification process has already been done. You can be able to identify, for example, my name, as I say, the criteria in terms of Christopher Akolo, as long as I can be able to provide my data or use other form of verification to be able to confirm my identification. What I want you to take it home is, for us, we are looking at authentication. So for authentication, just to bring it home, is we do not use personal data. So our data is majorly based on the GDPR, is non-personal data. So for us, what we are looking at, just to bring it home, is for you to be able to say the person that has applied for this particular facility using your phone is the same person who will be able to apply tomorrow or in future. Because for us, it's not identification, as I mentioned, it is more of authentication. Let me just try it again. So for us, it's trying to connect an online persona. So by online persona is you go to an app, it's on an online platform, you download it and you apply for a loan with an offline persona, which is a human being. So that is the takeaway home for you to be able to identify the difference. And that's why we are saying we are not in the market to be able to compete. I've seen a lot of speakers talking about this kind of data. And when I was talking to Ali, the chairman of FinTech Association, he mentioned to me that we are not supposed to say alternative data. We are supposed to say it is the data. And one of the speakers mentioned, I think it's Morris, who said that in the near future, I hope that's correct, it will be traditional data. So I think the time is now for us to be able to adapt this kind of data. So this is the output that we are looking at, because somebody was asking me, what kind of data are you looking at? So we are trying to categorize into 4 sectors. So we are talking about behavior. Most of us, if you talk to any financial institution, they'll be able to tell you that they are scaling up. And I've talked to a colleague who have told me that they're now moving up to around 2 million premiums. So the bank is moving into this digital platform. So it means most of the time, even right now, so sure somebody has paid for a DSTV, somebody has told. So we are trying to make it for you to pay now, which is good. But for us, what we're trying to do is to give you what is called a device ID, which is independent from the manufacturer. So what we're trying to do is, you told me, for example, if somebody steals your phone, for example, get your details, how will you be able to get it? So I'll just try to say that there's types of behaviors that are unique to you. That is, we can be able to pick it up as a behavioral data and be able to say that this is a level of fraud. The other thing is on the device. So on the device, we have the device manufacturer, the phone carrier, the device type, the quality, the storage, and many more. So we can be able to use this kind of metadata to be able to come up with a unique level of fraud or credit scoring mechanism, to be able to give you some form of alternative data, to be able to use on your algorithm for you to be able to have a more predictive score. The other one is on internet connection, so we're talking about IP, the time zone, the country, the real IPv6, the anomalies, the proxy that have been used. So we have the device software, we're talking about the open console, we're talking about the SIM card, we're talking about the browser name. But I want just to showcase you this part. This is very important. And be able to look at our use case. So for us, we'll be able to talk about 3 types of use cases. We're talking about the fraud risk prevention, which, as I mentioned, that we can be able to hash it out from the browser to be able to identify some level of fraud on your device and be able to come to help you in terms of behavioral markers. We'll be able to add, because as we look at the credit model, and I can give you an example. If you look at the credit model, where it was reached, for example, I was talking to my banker, and you can see, we're able to see that my limit is not increasing. It's not that they're not using the score, but based on the data that they have, that is the best that they can be able to give you. And so where we are right now, we are telling them we can be able to add another algorithm onto your score, which is called a juicy score, to be able to enable the predictive pattern of your score and be able to increase part of the limit. The other thing is on the approval rate. There's what we call the thin files. For example, if you get an account that you do not have any data, the chances are that you'll be able to just decline. But for us, we can be able to give you a score that you can be able to start profiling the customer, and to be able now to start giving our loans. We can be able to match both the algorithm on the behavioral pattern on the software and give you what is called disposable income, and be able to try and calculate what is called income estimation. So as a finish for us, we're not trying, I know I've just sat with a friend of mine, and I know here most of the bankers is all about the bottom line. And by here I mean the bottom line is, if we increase cost, then what it means is, if you go back to an employer, what it means is this cost will be able to be extended to your customer. But for us, we're telling you, as for both of us, for us, for people who are planning probably to buy a Ferrari, what happens is, if you're buying a Ferrari, you're not just sold that car. You are told, please test the car. So we're not here just to give you some form of data to be able to put it into your algorithm. What we're telling you is you can be able to test the Ferrari. So here we're giving you a free POC so that we can be able to understand after 60 days that we can be able to have real-time return on investment. So we're here to tell you, please come and test the Ferrari. Thank you so much.